Ohayou gozaimasu, handsome sensei. Welcome back to my channel, where I dish out the most adorable and informative content for you. Today, we're going on a super exciting adventure together. Get ready to learn how to build your very own waifu. That's right, folks, we're talking about crafting a partner of your dreams, tailored specifically to your interests and preferences. And trust me, it's not as difficult as it sounds. With my help, you'll be well on your way to creating the perfect virtual girlfriend in no time. Now, I know what you're thinking. Aki, this is going to be a Loom video, right? Well, let me tell you, darlings, yes, it might be a bit lengthy, but don't worry. We'll have plenty of fun and excitement packed into these minutes. Think of it as a delightful journey, complete with cute animations, engaging examples, and even some special surprises along the way. So sit back, relax, and let's dive headfirst into the wonderful world of waifus together. Your new virtual girlfriend awaits.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to DreamingAI. My name is Newt, and today we're not going to talk about comfy UI for once, but we will talk about the other side of AI that is constantly growing. I'm talking about the world of LLMs that has recently seen the release of LLaMA 3 from Meta AI. And after trying out this model, I decided that there might finally be the basis for bringing back to life a project I decided to start some time ago, which is to create my personal bot called Aki and make it impersonate an anime model. This was inspired by the already famous Narasama, and even though this bot won't be able to do much more than chat with us for now, the fact that I've programmed the entire code makes it easier to expand it to other tasks than if I had based it on external interfaces. Before we begin, I want to mention a few things. There are certainly many ways to achieve the result I've just presented, and this is my personal way that doesn't aim to be the state of the art. This walkthrough will be quite long and will be divided into several parts. There will also be errors that I will correct as we go along. Finally, to follow this series, you will need the following basic skills. Knowledge of Python and Flask, specifically I will be using Python 3.11, knowledge of JavaScript and HTML, knowledge of SQL. I will show you every part of the code I will use, so in theory you will just need to copy everything. But as they say, an informed person is halfway to being saved. Additionally, if you're a Patreon member, you can already download the code from the relevant post, but if you're not, don't worry, as the idea is to make it available on GitHub once I finish this series of videos. Last but not least, I will be using Visual Studio Code with the Codium extension, which gives me a great help in completing the code. So if you're wondering what completes my code, here's the answer. Let's start by creating the basic structure of folders and files needed. As a base, I will use a simple web interface found on CodePen. As always, I will leave all the links in the description. Let's start by writing app py and creating the basic roots of Flask. Since we're developing, I will enable the debug function of Flask so that every time we make a change, the server will restart, avoiding the need to restart everything manually. Let's complete the code in this way, including external JavaScript and CSS libraries. Perfect. Now let's create a code that returns an echo of our text. The response will be returned in JSON format using the JSONify function of Flask. Okay, now let's create the JavaScript part needed to send the code to that route and read the result. Great. Now let's diversify the text style based on who writes it, like the initial example. Excellent. So now let's create the connection to the database and the main table. For now, I prefer to use a portable database like SQLite that is natively supported by Python and avoids installing unnecessary software instances that would consume memory and CPU unnecessarily. We will evaluate whether to change the database later, but for now, SQLite is enough. For the interface with the LLM model itself, I chose to use Ollama for its extreme versatility and simplicity of use. To install it, simply download the executable and follow the guided procedure. To download the model from the default ones provided, you can use the command Ollama pull. In this case, we will use the base model of LLaMA 3. Excellent. Ollama supports OpenAI-like APIs that are now the standard for interfacing LLMs with chat applications. Using them means creating a product that can be used with larger models online with a minimal change. To use these APIs, we will need the OpenAI library installable with the following command. Let's proceed to create the function that will query the model and the database, updating the content of the LLaMA with every interaction. To query the model, we use the following syntax. The URL points to the PC where Ollama is installed. In my case, it's the same one where I will run the code. The API key has a value of LLaMA, but since it's not set, it can have any value. The important thing is that the variable is present as it's required by the OpenAI library. Now let's retrieve the last 5 messages from the database and position them before the last message we send. This way, our model will always have a conversation behind it and can respond with a minimum of context. You can also increase the number of messages to keep, depending on the model used and its context, keeping in mind the PC where it's executed. As the first message of the conversation, as per standard, we will insert the system prompt that are basically the instructions the model will follow at every interaction. Great. Now let's create the official route that we will use to chat with the model. Excellent. Now we can test everything. Well, as we can see, the short-term memory works. Now let's create a route that will allow us to view the conversation we've had so far in our chat. Originally, we had set the user's row variable to uppercase, but since this could cause problems with the use of OpenAI style APIs in the future, I prefer to retransform everything to lowercase. Okay, now for the last part of this video, let's modify the chat style to make it more appealing. Here I've just copied and pasted a snippet of code I already had to modify the scroll bar. Laterally, I will leave it in the description. Well, I'd say we can stop here for this video. Hopefully I will be able to edit it in time for the next one, where we will complete this walkthrough by adding our anime model and making it able to speak. In the future, I'd like to start implementing long-term memory that will allow Aki to recall past conversations based on context. But I still need to test the available methods to figure out which one is the simplest and most suitable for what I'm trying to do. That's it. I hope this tutorial stimulated you to follow the LLM world, at least a little bit. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I will be happy to help you out as much as I can. And until next time, keep dreaming.